everyone. Thanks for joining me tonight. It's a validation healing in the sanctuary. And I just wanted to take a moment and talk about validation and the importance of it. I think it's a super important ability to validate yourself, because what happens is if you're not validating yourself, then we start looking outside ourselves for that validation. And when you start looking outside yourself for validation, that's when your happiness then becomes contingent upon what other people think of you or what other people say to you. So it's really important to develop your own ability to validate yourself. So tonight's healing, my picture of it is to clean out that space so that you can validate yourself in a couple of different areas. So these are the areas that we're going to get a healing on tonight. Validation for your wisdom and intelligence. Validation for your individuality, validation for your creativity, for your value, for your path in life, and for doing a good job. I love that last one. We all want to know that we're doing a good job. All right, let me go ahead and set the energy for the healings with a prayer. As we cleanse and heal the temple of the soul, may it be with the blessing of divinity, that it shine its countenance upon us, bring us peace in body, mind, and spirit. Amen. Okay, now the energy's set, and the first one that I'm going to take a look at for you is validation for your wisdom and intelligence. And a lot of the energy actually is from childhood. And what I see are teachers judging, teachers with opinions about you and putting their judgments in your space. Yeah, there's a lot of energy from childhood that I see and that I'm trying to clear. It's like a reddish brown. It's very lumpy. A lot of frustration coming out from being told that you are something, and whatever that something is not a truth. So there's a lot of frustration about being called out as something other than the truth. Ooh, Supreme Being is coming in right now and giving lots of validation for the intelligence and wisdom. There's a great big gold energy coming in. And the next thing I'm noticing is some energy that makes it hard for you to hear validation. That is royal blue. And what's causing some of that inability to hear validation is negative self-talk. So that's coming out too. Yeah, so there's more Supreme Being healing going on right now, and that has to do with validating your crown chakra for your intelligence and wisdom. So I'm watching everybody's crown chakra on top of your head be brought up to a really pretty bright yellow gold. This is a great way to start out the healing. Okay, I'm I'm going to go ahead and fill that space in with gold. And if you think that went by quickly, yes, it did. But I've got 6 different spaces that I'm going to work tonight. So they all come out to about 5 minutes. So let me fill that in with gold. And then the next space for validation is validation for your individuality. I really wanted to do this because I feel, and I've seen a lot of times, that people with individuality get judged rather than encouraged. So if you feel that you have been judged for your individuality tonight, you're going to get a nice healing on that. There's some beings in this space. Let me move those out. Okay, move the beings out. And next I'm working on the judgment. Yeah, this is a great healing. Supreme beings coming in and doing a healing for your uniqueness. That's the word that I heard. And you actually hold pictures of what I would call like some of your soul personality up in your crown chakra. And I'm going to be grounding that because it has to do with your individuality. And some of you, your parents' energy is in your space, not exactly appreciating your individuality. Some of you, your parents do appreciate it. Some of you don't. So those of you that don't, and I'll tell you what I see is the reason your individuality isn't always appreciated is because one or the other of the parents is trying to manage the energy of the children in the family. And it's easier if they all kind of comport to the same pictures. So that's why some of you might have this energy in your space. Yeah, and as the parent energy comes out, some of it has to do with the parents wanting you to be part of the group agreement, family group agreements. So what I'm doing is taking a layer of a whitish energy off of you that has to do with family agreements and family agreements that are in past time. So I'm going to clear that. And the family agreements I'm talking about are ones where you are to match your parents or go out and have a career similar to your parents, like that. Okay. Yeah, the color of energy from the parents was like a mixture of olive green and forest green. And I've got almost all of that out. Okay. Now I'm going to fill that space in with gold. Actually, Supreme Being is coming in and giving a really nice healing to your uniqueness. Okay. All right. The next topic is validation for your creativity. That is so sweet. There's a lot of validation from really early on, like if you went to nursery school or kindergarten, a lot of validation in those years. There seems to be a lot of unconscious energy in your creativity space, so I want to clear that first. So the unconscious energy has to do with not getting your mock-ups. So there's some energy about that is invalidating to you. So I'm working in the creative process right now. Yeah, it is interesting that the bulk of the validation from other people is from when you were young. But remember, I'm cleaning this space out so that you can validate yourself for your own creativity. So the healing that Supreme Being is bringing in for you right now has to do with playfulness for your creativity. So the energy vibration of play and, well, playful vibration is coming in right now. And I'm also hearing Supreme Being say that what's important about validating your creativity is to not take yourself seriously. There's a little bit of energy preventing you from running a lot more of your creative energy. So I'm going to work on that. That's a midnight blue. So obviously, if you're having difficulty running your creative energy, you're not going to feel very validated about it. So we're going to get this unstuck and moving. And it's not just getting your creative energy moving, it's also making sure that it's flowing in your arm channels, because those are what we call your creative channels. And we need the energy flowing in them as well. And I'm hearing a lot of what you're saying. Some of you are telling yourselves that you're not very creative based on your history, but that might have nothing to do with whether you're creative or not. So we're going to clear that invalidation out. That is starting to look so nice. The creativity space and the validation, that's at an orange gold. Looks like a yellow orange gold. Really pretty. All right, I'm going to fill that in with a gold sun. Okay, next up, validation for your value. I like this one. This one seems to have a lot to do with the heart chakra and your self-affinity. Also, one thing that I see that I'm going to work on first is the communication line between you and Supreme Being, because that's really important to be able to like validate your own value. And the energy that I found in that communication line was discontent. That was like a salt and peppery colored energy that's releasing. Yeah, there's a lot of energy in here. What I'm seeing is that some of you have a hard time recognizing your value. And it's not because you don't have value, it's because there's an awful lot of foreign energy in that space. Again, there's a lot of judgment. It's a dark charcoal. That's what I'm working on right now. I see Supreme Being working inside the heart chakra. It's almost like a little a little fire is being built inside the chakra. There's a lot of gold energy and a lot of heat. I just saw that it's easier for you all to validate yourselves when you look back from outside your body. But when you get in the body and you have all of the judgment, the pain of judgment, that's when it's really hard to find that validation. But as a spirit, I see all of you very easy. I'm not speaking very well tonight. I see that it's easy for you to validate yourself as a spirit when you're outside of the body looking back in. There are some pictures that vibrate at a blue purple in the heart chakra that are being worked on by Supreme Being. And one of the big pictures that's coming out that I can hear really clearly is let me hear it again, just a sec. I think something along the lines of, I have no meaning. Supreme Being's working on that. That's good. We got rid of those, the energy on those pictures that were blue and purple. They were really charged, and that got released. And I'm going to ask Supreme Being to fill you in with value and the recognition of your value. That was a nice healing. Okay. The next topic is validation for your path in life. In other words, the path that you chose to execute this life. Well, this is turning out to be a good topic, because what I see is that there's a lot of invalidation on your paths that cause you doubt about what you're doing. It's brown. So I'm going to be saying hello to that, watching you release it. And what I'm hearing from different people as I work on you is that a lot of times choosing your path in life can be difficult, and there can be effort. This is what you're telling me. So that a lot of times it's not easy, but just because it's not easy doesn't necessarily mean it's invalid. Ah, good. Now, some gold is coming in, and Supreme Being is saying hello to you on your spiritual path. Wow, that is such a nice healing. It's almost like energy's being swept off of, let's say, the physical path. And it's all being brought up to a bright yellow gold. And I'm also being shown that what's important about this is that you, I'm trying to think of how to say this, like come to terms with the path that you've been on already and accept where you're at on your path. That's a really important part to being able to validate your spiritual path. So I'm going to work on that. That's such nice energy. I'm going to fill that space in with gold. Okay. And last but never least, validation for doing a good job. Well, there's a lot of brown and red energy that questions whether the job you did was good or not. So that's some judgment. And ground that. Oh, and I see snake energy. That's what's going on. You know, um, one of the ways to keep a healer healing is to invalidate them. Because if you're trying to get something out of someone, if you tell them they do a good job, then that's the end of that. So one of the ways that people will try to program you or get you to keep giving is to invalidate the job that you did. So I'm taking a lot of that, as much as I can find, of that energy that's been bestowed upon you so far this lifetime, and clearing that. Yeah, if you tell a healer they're doing a bad job, they'll come back and do it 10 times better. So that's how you keep a healer healing. And there's energy also from childhood here about being told you're not doing a good job. So I want to get that out of there. And there's a lot of scolding, being scolded when you're young, coming out. And then there's the energy as an adult of just wanting to get on to the next thing and not putting the time in to validate yourself, which is so important. Because if you look at your creative process, the way that you complete a creative cycle is by validating it. So if you don't validate your mock-ups when they come in, the energy to start a new creative cycle doesn't get going because you haven't ended the last one. So that's another reason why validating yourself and your mock-ups when they come in is so important. There's a lot of invalidation about doing a good job coming out of your jobs, your work, where you don't get validated. Yeah, that's really one place you want to exercise your ability to validate yourself is at work, because it's probably more common for bosses to not validate you. I mean, I'm not out there in the corporate world anymore, but that would be a really good space to cultivate some validation skills. All right, Supreme Being is bringing that space up to a yellow gold. And Supreme Being just told you that you're doing a good job in life. I like that. Right. I'm going to fill that in with a big gold sun. All right. Let me close out that healing. May it be with the blessing of divinity that this validation healing tonight in the sanctuary be complete. Amen. Okay, let me take a look at you. A lot of energy coming out of the heart chakra. All those pictures about your value. And some anger. I remember back in the beginning, your wisdom and intelligence, there was some anger in there. So that's also coming out. That's nice. I see the energy as kind of a refresh for you. All right. Okay. Just wanted to take a look at you and give you a little communication, what your growth period might look like. And then next week, is it next week? Yeah. Next Monday night is Seek and You Will Find. So I will see you back then on Monday night. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your evening. And again, thanks for coming to share time with me tonight. And got my eyes on you. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Bye-bye.